Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. Today I'm going to be checking out 3 new top-of-the-line 2x2's from GAN. These were sent over by thecubicle.com. It looks like they have a new business card. I wonder if they make some sort of pattern or if they're literally just random scrambles. Of course, you can use discount code Z3Cubing for 5% off anything from their store. So let's get right into it. They're all called the GAN 251M, but there's 3 different models. In order of price, we have the Air at $24, the Pro at $33, and the Leap at $40, which for some reason has the exact same packaging. I believe that the base puzzles are almost exactly the same, and all the differences basically come down to the magnets. You can already tell that there's some sort of adjustability on these two that isn't present on this one. So let's go ahead and start out with the simplest and least expensive, the GAN 251M Air. So opening up the box, it looks like we have a little adjustment tool, probably for changing the tensions. We have a couple of little instruction booklets, who needs those, as well as the puzzle itself. Well, that was unexpected. Anyway, onto the cube itself, we have a non-removable GAN logo, standard GAN colors all around, and a very slightly frosted GAN plastic. Feels very nice in your hands. And first turns, wow, this thing is light and fast. Yeah, that's like the definition of a stereotypical GAN cube. It's funny because my main Volk is heavier, slower, and has stronger magnets, and this cube just feels like the exact opposite in every single way. Let's go ahead and do a quick solve. The low weight of this cube gives it a super light and airy feeling. It also makes it feel a little bit less substantial, but it's far from feeling flimsy. Actually, I wonder how much it really does weigh. My current main 2x2 is over 80 grams, whereas this one is under 50 grams. That is ridiculously light for a 2x2. If we go ahead and pop out a piece, we can see that there's magnets in the edges, which attract to the corners, so it's magnetized just like a 3x3 in the same way that the Volk 2 is. But of course, this being the base model and the lightest version that they removed all the excess features from, that's it. There's no adjustability in the magnets at all. There is some adjustability in the core though. You can change it to one of 2 different tension settings. I believe it's on 0.6 to begin with, and you can go ahead and use this tool. You basically stick it on there, it kind of locks in, you push down, and I believe spin it counterclockwise to change from 0.6 to 0.8, so now it's a little bit looser. But I think this cube is loose enough for me already, so let's go ahead and change it back. I think I can probably do it without the tool. Yep, it's not that hard, you just have to have it partially disassembled, whereas the tool is designed to be used with the cube completely assembled, like this. But overall, in terms of performance, I would say that this cube is really good, and I would probably switch to it as my main right away. The one thing is that the corner cutting seems like it might be a little bit low compared to other 2x2s. It can't really go much past 45, and in reverse, it kind of feels like it either goes super easily, or it just gets totally stuck. Personally, I didn't really find this much of a problem while solving. It feels plenty fluid enough for my relatively slow turning. Really, the biggest downside of this version for me is that it's just too fast. The speed just feels totally overkill for me, and I'd need to put some heavier lube or stronger magnets in it to make it feel more controllable. But hopefully, that problem will be alleviated for me by the extra magnets of the GAN 251M Pro. I guess this is like the GAN 11M Pro, but after they make 240 more versions. Or maybe it's just a 51mm 2x2. Anyway, this packaging is a lot fancier. For the extra $9, you get a little plastic box, which I don't think was supposed to be open yet, a little accessories box here, as well as this set of extra GES nuts. In terms of accessories, we have a fancy cloth bag for the cube. That's pretty nice. The same little instruction booklets, as well as a screwdriver, which is for adjusting the magnets, I believe. Also, it looks like the same tensioning tool, which came with the other one, is now inside this little case of nuts. Anyway, let's move on to the cube itself. Now, I've seen these fancy little boxes in other videos before, but I've never actually tried one out. I think the idea is you press down these 2 little buttons, and then, oh, it pops open. That's beautiful. Okay, I love it. So on the outside, this puzzle looks and feels exactly like the other one. I guess it is a little bit heavier, but still much lighter than any other 2x2 I've tried. In fact, yeah, it's only 56 grams, which is still way lighter than most 2x2s. I expect that to still reflect in the turning, so first turns, and yeah, that's definitely different. Still very light and airy and fast like the last one, but a little bit more controllable. Yeah, there's definitely a much stronger magnetic click. You can definitely feel that extra resistance to your turn, but at the same time, the cube is still way faster than, say, my Volk. Right away, I can definitely say that I like the turning of this one better. So let's go ahead and scramble it up and do another quick solve. The extra magnets of this one just feel like they're guiding you into place. They make your turns a little bit more accurate, allowing me to more confidently turn a little bit faster. And if you've been keeping up with GAN cubes recently, you'll know that the way they do this is core magnets. Basically, in addition to the edge and corner magnets that we already talked about, there are also 8 magnets attached to the core, each one attracting to an extra magnet on each corner. Basically, the fact that this magnetic pull is coming from so close to the very center of the puzzle means that you can feel that attraction over a wider range of angles. So basically, once you're at 45 degrees, you start turning to this side, and you can already feel the magnet pulling you towards that solved position. Compare that to the 251M Air with only edge and corner magnets, and you cannot feel any magnetic attraction anywhere along this range of angles. You only start to feel that click when you're a few degrees away from that turn. But on the 251M Pro, you can feel that magnetic pull from so far away that it's literally pulling you towards each turn. It's a really unique feel that I think is really useful. And one more thing about the magnets, you can actually adjust how strong these core magnets are by moving this little dial back and forth with a little screwdriver. So let's pop that off. If you look really closely, there's a little tiny plus and minus sign. So if we move it towards the plus sign, and that actually moved that core magnet a little bit upward to give you a bit of a stronger magnetic feel. You can actually go ahead and watch it move up and down. Now it's going down. And now it's going back up. So you have to adjust it the same way on 7 different corners. One of the corners is fixed into place, so it doesn't actually matter, but you can do it while the cube is assembled, just like this. There we go. That took maybe about 20 seconds, and now we should have a slightly stronger magnetic feel. Of course, there is one more thing that's adjustable, and that is with these GES nuts. These are what we used to adjust the tensions earlier, but by swapping out an entire set of them, you can actually change the elasticity or the spring strength. So basically, these clear ones are the weakest, followed by these green ones, followed by the blue ones, which are the ones that came in the air, and then the purple ones are the strongest. Now, because I think I would like my cube a little bit more springy, I'm gonna go ahead and try out swapping out these green nuts with these slightly stronger blue nuts. So let's go ahead and try it out and see how hard it is. Okay, that wasn't too hard. Took maybe about 3 minutes. The trick is that this tool actually kind of holds onto the nuts, which makes them much easier to put in and pull back out, but it does definitely take a minute to figure out the system. Anyway, let's go ahead and try this cube out with the extra elasticity and the stronger magnets. And yeah, I definitely like that better than I did before. You can definitely feel the stronger springs and the slightly more snappy feel, and yeah, this is definitely a lot closer to what I'm used to in a 2x2, and this could easily be my main right now. But before we decide that for sure, we gotta really quickly try out the final version of the GAN 251M, and that is the Leap. I'm not sure why it says Pro on the box. I guess they just reused the same one, and inside the box it looks exactly the same. We have the nuts, we have the box, and the other box. Inside the accessory box, it looks like we have all exactly the same stuff, and it looks like this one actually comes with the slightly stronger springs pre-installed, the way I like it. Let's open up the wonderful box once again. Ho ho ho, that'll never get old. And let's try out the cube. Okay, this one strikes me as actually even more similar to what I'm used to in something like a Volk, and that's because for $40, this one comes with, you guessed it, more magnets. To be clear, this cube is basically just as light and airy and fast as the other ones, but the magnets have increased in strength dramatically, to the point where it's almost impossible to stop the cube in the middle of a turn. It's hard to describe, but like, I am not being precise at all with these finger flicks, and it is always lining up perfectly. There is no way you can end with this cube misaligned. And that's why they call it large angle magnet technology. Even more so than on the 251M Pro, the magnets on this cube will always attract, no matter how far away from aligned you are. Opening it on up, we'll see that everything looks very similar. We have the same old edge and corner magnets, but the biggest difference is that we now have a massive magnet down in the core, and that perfectly explains what we were feeling. So basically, as far as I can tell, the 251M Leap is exactly the same as the 251M Pro, but with bigger core magnets. Personally, I do think that the magnetic feeling is a little bit excessive, which is why I'm going to try out switching to the weakest magnetic setting. And there we go. That could literally be done in less than 10 seconds if you're good at it. And yeah, the magnets are a little bit weaker than before, but still definitely stronger than on the M Pro. As I do one last solve, I'll say that I wouldn't mind using this cube as my main if you keep it on the weakest magnetic setting. 3, 2, 1, and go. But for $7 extra and a less useful range of adjustability, I just don't see the point unless you really like strong magnets. Anyway, in case I haven't made it clear yet, let's just sum up my recommendations about these 3 puzzles. The Leap at $40 is more expensive and not as good as the Pro, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you love strong magnets. If you want something super light and fast and relatively cheap for a GAN puzzle, at $24, the Air is a pretty good choice. But overall, my biggest recommendation for people looking to buy a high-end GAN 2x2 at $33 is the 251M Pro. I really like it, and I think it'll become my main. Everything will be linked down in the description as always, and of course, be sure and use discount code Z3Cubing for 5% off anything from thecubicle.com. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for this little unboxing / review of the new GAN 2x2s. Let me know what you think, whether you're gonna buy one of these or just what your main 2x2 is. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.